To the cloud. Here we go. Okay, Johnny Roberts, we are back for another episode of your podcast. How's the day treating you, sir?
Going well, Michael. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I am great. It's springtime weather. Life is great, and we're here
It is.
talking about all kinds of fun things. In there was a book written a number of years ago called "The Power of Zero," and I read that. I forget who wrote it, but it was a good book. And so you and I are going to do this little mini series on the power of zero to kind of unpack different aspects of what is the power of zero and how can we use it. So today we're talking about the power of zero with annuity. So why don't you unpack the idea, I guess, behind the power of zero and how does it play into annuities and all of that?
Well, so we're trying to do a couple things. Why is zero so powerful? It's because I don't want to pay zero taxes and I don't want to lose any of my money. So most
Amen on
people,
that.
when most people get to a certain age or get close to retirement, those are two things that are attractive to people, right? Uncle Sam, zero. And man, no matter what these guys are doing overseas or what's going on at the markets in New York, zero loss for me too, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen craziness this year, right, Michael, in the stocks up and down. And we can see the volatility that people over in New York or whatever just decide one day, let's just sell off. And, by one sentence of the president or one thing that happens in the news. And then the next day, well, that sounds great. Let's all buy back. And you see this roller coaster up and down. And man, if it hits you at the wrong time and these people get an itch in them and they're like, we got to sell off again, man, you can lose some money. And we
Yep.
don't want that to happen. So that book you read is a principle a lot of us try to follow when we're helping people is I don't care what these little guys are doing in New York or what
Yeah.
happens in Iran or anywhere else overseas. Uh, I know I'm safe. I can sleep
Yeah.
good at night. And also, our tax law that just got approved, which is a permanent tax law, well, that's not going to be permanent because we
Right.
know elections have consequences. We have one this year. It seems like we're always in election season. And so, man, they can change the tax law. And I'm going along in my retirement, doing good, paying my low tax bracket, my nice deductions I got going on. Somebody gets the itch in 7 or 8 years, which they probably will,
Right.
because we know what's going to happen with Social Security around 2033 to 2035. They're probably going to have to raise taxes. So
Yeah.
I'm used to paying my 11, 12% marginal rate, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm up to 17 or 18. So my money's less valuable.
Yep.
But the power of zero principle says it doesn't matter if that happens. It doesn't
Mm.
matter because I control my money and I'm not paying Uncle Sam taxes. So,
Wow. Dude, that's powerful. That's
yeah,
powerful because you put yourself and your clients in the driver's seat with control. And you're right, when you're dependent or worrying about what's happening on Wall Street or around the world or wars and things, it builds a lot of anxiety. It takes your focus off living the life that you want to live in retirement because you're worried about things you can't control. And what you do, Johnny, with your clients is you help them bring that control into that locus of control for themselves with the power of zero so they can put themselves in a position, no taxes, no losses, no worries.
yeah, let's talk about the control principle. Maybe we'll get into the other stuff later, but think about the control principle in life. And I know you follow this too, Michael. The more things we can control, the better off we're going to be. Me and my
Yeah.
wife, especially me, been on this we call it a weight loss journey, but I'm eating better, right? Trying to eat better. And what are we doing? We're cooking at home more,
Yes.
because I can control what the ingredients are, whether I have a steak or chicken or whatever it is. You go out to eat, whatever they put on that steak and chicken is in the chef's hands.
That's right.
Whatever oils, whatever seasonings, what you know what I mean? So by controlling, I'm better off health wise. What else? Spiritually, right? By me reading my Bible every day and doing what I'm going to do and praying and doing all those things daily, I control my spiritual growth more than just relying on a church or pastor. We
Right.
love them and we appreciate them, but man can fall. Churches can have struggles. If my reliance is on me doing my stuff every day,
Yeah.
whatever happens there doesn't destroy me spiritually, right?
That's right.
So, health wise, financial, eating wise, and spiritual wise, Man, financially, it's the same way,
Yeah,
right? The
absolutely.
control principle.
I
I
like
want
it.
to control my money from Uncle Sam and from Lon.
Yeah.
So, does that make sense, man? I know you follow those principles yourself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah. I think that should be the title of your next book, The Control Principle. And we just
yeah.
we just walk through that because yeah, when you're relying on other people, again, you're letting that control go away. Stephen Covey talked about in his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People 35 years ago, the center of control and the center of influence, and which one should you put your focus on, right? And that's really what you're talking about here is having control of your money, having control of your emotions around money, because that's a big deal. And how do you live life with no worries? Well, when you don't pay taxes and you don't have losses, you're not concerned about losing money, and you've made a great plan to make sure that you've got income for life and Medicare and Medicaid and all that and Social Security all taken care of because you've created a great plan. You can then retire at new heights, as you tell people, um, because you're not worrying about things because you are in control of the future world of your finances. And part of what you do in the Power of Zero is talk a little bit about how does that play into one aspect of a retirement plan with annuities.
So we've discussed annuities on here before. Once again, annuities give you something that very few other resources can give you financially. They give you control of your money as far as I can protect myself from losses. And we're talking specifically more about the fixed side of annuities and the fixed index side of annuities, right? So I know that I can never lose any money regardless of whatever happens. I still can grow my money, especially on the index side, because I get to participate in how the market indexes do and grow some with
Right.
those. But when they tank, nothing can happen.
That's right. You don't
Nothing can
lose.
happen. You can't lose any of your money. So the power of zero on that aspect solves a problem a lot of people are concerned about.
Yeah.
Is yeah, I can still grow my money. It's not, I'm just throwing in a couch cushion or something. I'm still growing money, but on the other side of it, I'm protecting myself from any of those losses or something like that,
Yeah.
which
And a
is
lot of a lot of times that's where long-term wealth comes from. It's not necessarily the gains you're getting, it's the losses you're avoiding because it takes so much time, effort, and money to rebuild after a significant loss that can happen just instantaneously because of those guys on Wall Street and things. But if you put in place the control mechanisms to control your losses, by working with Johnnie and some of the strategies and tools he has available, you're going to set yourself up for a much better retirement, a greater, you're going to be able to retire at new heights because you're going to be able to do what you want to do and live the way you want to live without worrying about all that stuff that could happen. Just take that off the table. Say, no, it's not going to happen because I've created a proper plan. Is that kind of fair?
that's exactly right. And you mentioned something earlier that we want to talk about, is you said the health part of this, like the worry and stress. What happens when we get older? We get some health ailments, and you add stress and financial pressure. That's one of the biggest causes of more health issues, especially if you got some health problems. You're adding those things to your life because now I'm stressed. I'm worried about money and where it's going to go and what's going to happen if I die. Is my wife or husband would be taking care of my kids? Because we don't control our money.
That's right.
But when we control our money and we have that peace in our mind, we're not adding stress on top of maybe other health issues or other. There's enough pressure and stress in this world. Why make money one of those things to pile on top of that?
Right.
Especially as we get older and retire, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
we don't need to have that. We retire, it's supposed to be like, man, enjoying family, relaxing, traveling, not waking up while you're on vacation and seeing that Fox News said the market went down 25%.
Right.
Oh, there goes your vacation joy, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
the
it,
power of zero by controlling your money is huge.
yeah, it really is. And you can learn more about the power of zero when you schedule a call with Johnnie. Go get a copy of his book, but sit down and talk with him and just have the conversations around this because I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, and it is so easy for people to start putting themselves in a position of control by using this concept of the power of zero. Annuities is just one aspect of it. We're going to do this little mini series and talk about 2 or 3 or 4 other aspects around the power of zero. A lot of it is a mindset. It's how you think. And do you want to have peace of mind, no worries, no losses, no taxes? It's possible when you create the right type of plan. And that's, Johnny, what you help your clients do. So we'll come back in the next episode of this mini series around the power of zero and talk more about how you can retire at new heights. Johnny, have a great day, buddy. I'll talk to you next week.
All right. See you then, Mike.